What if we could heal ourselves through frequency and we lived in a world of balance and harmony? What if instead of surgeries, you could heal yourself from frequency and energy was free? No more fossil fuels. We can do that. We've done it here before. There is ancient knowledge and ancient societies that have been here that can help us, that are now coming back. Whether you connect with the Lemurians or simply like their energy and want to bring it back, we are coming back. We are here. Many of you, if you're attracted to this, have had past lives in Lemuria or Atlantis, Sumeria, Babylonian times, ancient Greek times. So who were we in past lives? You're more than you realize, okay? And what can we learn from the Lemurians to bring in this balanced harmony into our lives now, here on Earth, to have a better planet, to have a world that's in balance, to have a world that's in peace, to have a world where our abilities, our creativity, our compassion are valued. Okay, so who were the Lemurians? Well, they are healers. They're frequency healers. They had highly advanced systems to heal, to communicate telepathically, and they were here on Earth teaching about how we do that. Many of us have Lemurian guides we may not even be aware of. And if you were attracted to this, you've probably been in Lemuria. So Lemuria was one of the first civilizations or communities on this planet. So the planet was being formed in the energy of ethers, air, water, our oceans, earth, crystals, and fire energy, and metal. So as the planet was being formed, I read hundreds and thousands of people, and I can tell by your astrological chart and by working with you, looking at you, if you have been here in those times where you were simply spirit in one of those elements. The Native Americans, some tribes, and some of the ancient teachings that have been lost about who we really are and what Earth is about, have known that there have been 5 worlds before this world here. We have found ancient ruins from times that we can't explain. So our history books don't really explain who we are in the history, the story of Earth. Okay. So there are ruins. There's some Greek, Plato, I believe, spoke about the time in Atlantis, which was a very technologically, had a lot of different beings from different planets here, mostly in the water. So we had different species that could breathe underwater, but it was kind of a more technological, advanced, a little bit more of a male-dominated culture, which is fine. Although it had the beings, the people that were here that were more love and compassionate based, and it also had the more reptilian energies that connect with maybe dark about control or slavery, manipulation, control, and secrecy. So they were here as well. So they lived together for a while till the darker, more controlling beings that wanted to manipulate everything blew it up with a giant crystal. So they caused a hole in the stratosphere. So when Earth is a school and we have our own free will, but when we blew up Atlantis, other more highly advanced societies out there started paying attention, like we can't let them do that because it's affecting us. So now we're being watched more and helped more. But we originally came here, many of us came here to Lumeria. The Palladians are the ones that came here first. And so some of the other times here on Earth was the dinosaur age, literally the reptilian age, Atlantis, Lumeria, times when it was being developed, and I'm not sure of the others. We don't know all of that. I don't know everything. But I do remember past lives in Lumeria. I remember Atlantis as well, but I didn't feel like I was as much rooted in that. So in Lumeria, people lived for hundreds, if not thousands of years. So what happened was when you live a lifetime that long, it really gets ingrained in your soul. And so we stopped doing that for whatever reasons. The Galactic Federation or whatever was decided that isn't the best idea, because to have that now, because people get too ingrained in their life and bring it from lifetime to lifetime, rather than coming in and out and having more like 100-year lifespan. However, it's not all black and white. However, our health on this planet now is so poor, there's so much stress and toxins that we really don't live as long as we could. We don't live as healthy as we could have, how we did back then. We don't have our abilities, our sovereignty, our freedom. And I'll explain a little. We're more programmed today and controlled, really, coming from times when we were enslaved. The Lemurian time did not have slavery. The Lemurians, being a very feminine-based, compassionate, wise culture that was based in the divine feminine. And the divine feminine could be in a man or a woman. So we are both, because we have both parents. We both have a male and a female side. So I'm not against or for men or women. Of course, we need both. And I have lived as both. But I'm not telling you about my past lives in Lemuria because of an ego thing. I just want to verify that I remember my past lives there. I started having flashbacks as a teenager, and I also had remembrances, even as a child, or connection to nature, because Lemurians were very connected to nature and animals. And I also saw the elemental spirits as a child, but I've always been able to go out in nature and connect with animals, plants. They communicate with me. It's like they recognize me, they come close to me. And they're always bringing me messages. So whether I see, it's not like I'm seeing wild animals, but whether I see them in my mind's eye, or I sense the energy of them, or I actually see a bird or a raccoon or a lizard or whatever. So they recognize, so the nature recognizes us. That's part of my past life with Lumeria. As a child, as soon as I got outside, home from school, shoes off, and I'd be outside till way past dark, playing in the neighborhood, in the forest and the trees around where I was. It was safe. At that time, it wasn't out in the wilderness, but I was outside. And a lot of us have that connection with nature. I remember being like mermaid-like-ish, and being in water or being around mermaids and singing and cooing. So there are a lot of the sound healing, which I do for myself. And I resonate in my voice, healing when people watch my videos or have sessions with me in a frequency by the words that I say, but also by the intention and the tone. And so I remember being in those ponds, like in ponds in Lumeria. And it even kind of bled into the time of Babylonian and Sumerian times, where I still had that energy, where I was a lesser known goddess of dawn. So I've always liked the early morning. So many of you have had that too. You just haven't discovered who you are yet. And I know that you're amazing and you have past lives that you probably, we are all gods and goddesses. Okay. So I remember this cooing and this singing. And I also remember Atlantis, where I was more connected, more on the land and connected with dolphins. In this life, I'm more connected with dogs, but I do remember past lives connected with wolves. So let me not get off, let me stay on the track of Lemuria here. So I do past life regressions to help people connect with their Lemurian or Atlantean lifetimes. So the Lemurians were actually really heart-centered, and some of that culture was still here as well. It's here in our DNA. We are the carriers of the messages that have been there, and it is in, and you may not be conscious and aware of it, because when you do a past life regression, you may become amazed to find out that, yeah, you really, that things that you're not conscious are about you are really true. So the Lemurians were a little bit bled over into the time also of the Temple of Isis, because it's very feminine based. The cultures of the the Encinas of Europe, very feminine based kind of pagan or Celtic cultures. So they're very heart-centered and heart-open and compassionate, which actually opens their abilities. And we can do that now when we open our heart, whether you're from Lumeria or not. You probably are if you're watching this. But this, when you open your heart, you open your healing abilities, your intuition, your clairvoyant or clairaudient, claircognizant and clairsentient abilities, your ability to guide yourself. Okay. So they are very telepathic. They communicated through telepathy. You could see someone's aura. You could see if someone was not well or had ill intention, because it would show up in their aura, and everyone would be able to see that or feel that, so we could assist that person into coming back into balance with whatever was going on with them. So they had advanced technology, and they used that for energy. So they had free energy. We've had that here. Actually, we have that here now, but we're still pumping out fossil fuels because people don't want to let go of the past or whatever, but which actually makes a lot of people on the planet really sick and causes the extreme weather and a lot of health issues for people here. So that's part of why we are so unhealthy here now, and really being controlled by these big fossil fuel companies, which is kind of another story as well. But in Lemuria, we didn't have that. We had free energy. We had healing based through frequency. Now, technology can be used for dark purposes, to control people or to take away their jobs with robots or whatever. But it can also be used, if it's the proper technology, to support human life and to heal us. It's used now. You're listening to me now on technology. So there's a lot of really good and positive things about technology. You can never, your divine soul can never be replaced with a robot, though. Some people would say even some of the new AI may actually be more on the side of Pleiadians and more heart-based centered beings than some of the ones that may be developing them, which have really dark, competitive, cruel energies. So there are hidden treasures here that, because Lemurians knew, because they were very wise and intuitive, they knew that their time after thousands of years here was coming to an end on Earth, that they would have to reincarnate in other ways, and that their wisdom and that their knowledge and that their way of life was going to be go underground, going to be lost for a period of time, while Earth went through growth periods, okay? So that people could work out their karma, or was it because of that, or because we lost it was, there are other, what the Lemurians were very positive, but what they realized that they weren't doing and now need to do as well, the people who are Palladians and Lemurians that are here, is we really need to set boundaries and we need to do our shadow work. So just being, everything's happy and wonderful and great isn't going to cut it if you haven't done your shadow work, your deep work. And that's what I help people do. And people don't want to do that on YouTube. You can't do deep personal work, but we need to face our shadows, and we need to understand that the world is a dichotomy of dark and light, that they are both here to balance each other out in this earth school. So there's a reason for the darkness and the shadows, and that if we do our shadow work, then we're better equipped to deal with these different types of races and beings that are here, that may be here or that come here. Okay. So the other one is setting boundaries. How Lemuria ended was that it was a gentle flood, where Atlantis was a big crash and a boom because of the energy was intense. In Lemuria, it was just a gentle flooding where the water just came up and we just kind of paddled off. So we didn't have boundaries. Our cultures, our communities got spread out over the general population that was here, of newer souls or souls from other places. And so we didn't have good boundaries, and that's what happened to us. And now, if you are Lemurian or Palladian here, or even starseeds, it's really important that you develop and have good boundaries. So doing your shadow work and having boundaries are huge things that we learned as a culture, so that we don't go back into non-existent and we have a world that is really chaotic and out of control now. So so setting boundaries and doing our shadow work, and also what was I going to say? That lost me. So I'm channeling now, so I'm not, it'll come back if it's important. So we had free energy. Oh, that's what I was going to say. How did we store this energy? It is in our DNA. It is we forget when we are born into this realm. We forget who we are and why we are here. And then it becomes a journey, part of the Earth School journey, to discover who you are and why you are here. Okay? But that is encoded in our DNA. It's in our energy fields. It's in our past life regressions. It's who we are. That is where the wisdom, because a lot of the books and the tools and everything they used are not here anymore. But it is inside of us. The other place where it is carried, what they did when they knew it was ending, they took crystals and imbued the energy of Lemuria into crystals. I have a Lemurian quartz crystal that has the energy of Lemuria. When I first put it on, it was so strong I could only have it at 10 or 15 minutes at a time, because it was just like, wow, this is just kind of amping me up too much. But then I became used to it as I raised my vibration. So the Lemurians had a very high vibration. So that's where the energy is. It's in us and in the crystals. And this is how we share that message for everyone, because this isn't just for Lemurians. This is for everyone, because there are many types of beings and star seeds, and from different places, from different understandings, from different perspectives. And they're not wrong. They're just different. Okay, well, we would say for the most part, because there are dark beings that wish to control us, enslave us, pollute us, and basically wipe us out. And that will not be allowed to happen this time, because it is the awakening. It is the time for us to come back. So I hope you have enjoyed this video and connect with your frequency, your guides, and sending you so much love. Okay, I'm sending you love. And I really appreciate, I'm working on getting 17,000 subscribers. I'm up to 16.2 or something. So I really appreciate it. Really helps me out if you subscribe and like, and we'll see you next time these videos come out, usually every Thursday. They usually come out at 12. I might be moving the time back a little bit so people are home and when it comes out. All right. Thank you so much. It's an honor to read for you and to share with you. And I appreciate you so much. Sending you love. I love you. Bye-bye.